Today, my goal was to share another story, my personal story. I was born in the Soviet Union, in a little country most of you guys don't know exists. It was still called Azerbaijan. I am the second oldest in my family. I have 9 siblings. I know, a big family. Not atypical for these days. At the age of 19, my family decided to move to Canada, where I started my first business. It was a home renovation company. Without any knowledge, English, I grew that company to 7 employees and pretty decent revenues within 3 years. It made sense to make a pivot, and I started building custom homes. We were buying old homes, tear it down, and building new ones, selling them for a profit. Everything was happening in Toronto neighborhoods. I grew to the point where we were building multiple homes and had a bunch of lots purchased for future development. This was when crisis came. I didn't survive. Not me personally, but my company didn't survive. I had to file personal and corporate bankruptcies. I had almost no money left and were still owed my friends and relatives some money, over $200,000. It was depressing. I was depressed for a few months. It was super tough. I didn't want to go back to renovations, so I decided to try something new. I picked e-commerce. For a year, I was selling phone accessories and Garmin GPS on eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, on my own store, but had almost no sales through it. I did that for a year and made about $50,000 in profits, which was not enough to provide for my wife and my 2 kids. While I was selling online, I've learned something about marketing, some techniques, and decided to pivot to affiliate marketing. During this time, my wife and I decided to move to Vancouver, Washington from Toronto. It was much cheaper to live in Vancouver, plus I wanted to change the scene. At first, I was working with affiliate networks like Linkshare, CJ. I then switched to smaller networks with exclusive offers. During my first years, I tried many different channels and many different offers. Was working 15 and sometimes 20 hours a day without any day offs. This almost ruined my relationship with my wife and kids. My kids started avoiding me like I'm a stranger because I was always working and I had no time to spend with them. I'm not sharing this so you can do the same. No, my example is terrible. I'm sharing this just to share the experience that I have. Within my first year, I managed to start making decent revenues. Instead of allowing myself to improve our lifestyle, we were living at $3,000 a month back then. I decided to reinvest everything I made into our growth, into some other ideas that I had, and decided to start a startup with a few folks from Minsk, Belarus. We grew to 14 people, and I was able to raise about $600,000 from my friends, one from Toronto, one from Moscow. Startup failed, and because those investments were not equity-based, I had to repay everything back in the next few years. That hurt. Then I took that team of 14 people as soon as that startup failed and make them join me, because I was running affiliate stuff at that time. And within a few months, we grew from $30,000 a month to $100,000 a month. And I took all the profits and reinvested into the growth. We grew pretty fast. In 3 years, we had a team of 100 people and generating over $1 million each month. Our margins were not huge, but we were profitable. Most of our traffic was coming from Google AdWords, some from Yahoo, Bing, and some from Facebook. At a time when everything looked promising and bright, we got into huge problems and we stopped making profits. Now instead of making profits, we're burning cash, hundreds of thousands each month. I did everything to save the company and not ruin any relationships at the same time. Had to lay off over 90 people in 1 month. It was hard. It costs us all the cash that we have in our bank account, over $1 million. Plus I had to take additional $300,000 loan to cover additional expenses. Crazy, right? Usually you won't hear stories like this. You know why? Because people don't like to share their failures. They only talk about their successes. But the reality is 99% of all entrepreneurs and business people, they go through the same things, these similar situations. The bright part of this story is I was able to save the company, and we started making profits within 6 months from that time. I was able to pay off all the debts and started reinvesting into growth again. Since then, I started a few more companies and invested in more than 10. I've learned a lot through my mistakes and failures. I would say you learn much more from your failures than from your successes. My experience cost me a lot. I lost lots of money, ruined many relationships, ruined my health. But does it have to be that way? I don't think so. This is why when I saw niche hacks, I instantly got a vision of a product that can help people get there without spending that much money and time, without ruining their relationships and health. Is it even possible? I believe it is. Of course, it's going to take us a lot of time and lots of resources to create a solid solution that's going to work. But I believe with your help, we can get there. Are you with us? At the end of each video, I have a little ask. Last time I asked you to unsubscribe if you're not interested in niche hacks. Today, I want to ask you to reply to this email or leave a comment under this video and share your story and why you're interested in niche hacks. What do you expect from niche hacks? How do you think niche hacks can help you with the issues or struggles that you currently have? I think it's enough for today. Next time, I'm going to talk about our current financial crisis and coronavirus. So please stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.